Here is Immortal Moments for explanation. Friends, like videos and subscribes to our channel. Martial Universe Season 10 Part 44 Explanation. So let's start our explanation. The northernmost part of the demon region. There was an ancient desolate plains. Icy cold blade-like winds crazily swept over this place, slicing the ground and leaving it riddled with scars. This was an extremely remote area of the demon region. Due to the overly harsh conditions, hardly anyone chose to settle down in this area. Hence, since the ancient times, this place was only visited by a few humans. As such, this place also became the gathering ground for various highly intelligent wild demonic beasts, who had yet to attain self-consciousness. Although they were fellow demonic beasts, those in this area leaned closer towards the word beast. They were not very intelligent. Moreover, as few outsiders had stepped foot into this area, it allowed these demonic beasts to keep their powerful bloodlines, which were passed down since the ancient times. Furthermore, even though these bloodlines may be molted, they still possessed frightening strength. In conjunction with their bloodthirsty nature, it caused this remote area to become increasingly deserted. However, as of now, there was a shocking and unusual development occurring in the sky above this area. One could see the empty space contorting, before a black crack, that was tens of thousands of feet in size, appeared. Bang! Indescribable energy ripples swept out from within the crack in all directions. Following which, those ripples spread at a rapid, frightening pace, before they finally transformed into numerous light pillars that shot towards the clouds in the sky. Shockingly, one could clearly see those light pillars even from 5 kilometers away. Moreover, the energy ripples permeating within left countless individuals awestruck. As those light pillars shot towards the clouds, the energy ripples within the demon region instantly became a little chaotic. Following which, it quickly drew the attention of various powerful individuals. The Dragon region. Since they were one of the 4 overlord tribes and they were located in the north of the demon region, the Dragon tribe quickly detected the unusual activity that had occurred. Many rushing wind sounds suddenly appeared in the sky above the Dragon tribe. Soon after, numerous people suddenly appeared in the sky. The first person who showed up was the tribe leader of the Dragon tribe, Liu Qing. Currently, he was looking towards the north with a grave expression. Meanwhile, there was rich shock flowing deep within his eyes. Tribe leader, this fluctuation, an elder of the Dragon tribe asked in shock with a solemn expression. I wonder which top-tier expert was born. Liu Qing shook his head and said, it doesn't appear like someone was born into this world. From those ripples, I am able to detect signs that the space there has become chaotic. Therefore, it seems as though the space there was shattered. Shattering of space. Another Dragon tribe elder was a little bewildered. Liu Qing narrowed his eyes. A moment later, a glint flashed across his eyes. During the ancient times, when powerful top-tier experts were about to die, the most capable ones will create a realm and die within. I tried to probe those energy ripples within previously. However, my senses were devoured upon making contact with them. Ever since the ancient times, the only one who possessed such frightening strength even after death is likely the Devouring Master. Devouring Master? The surrounding Dragon tribe elders released an exclamation after hearing those words. Meanwhile, they were all visibly taken back. Clearly, this top-tier individual from the ancient times was not a foreign name to them. That place is going to become very lively. Taking into account the reputation of the Devouring Master, it is likely that countless top-tier experts would swarm over. At that time, an intense fight would definitely occur. An elder of the Dragon tribe said. Even someone with his mental fortitude was attracted to the inheritance of the Devouring Master. Hence, even less needed to be said about others. The Devouring Master is a powerful legendary figure, who is even able to defeat our Dragon tribe's 6-finger Sage Dragon Emperor ancestor. I can feel a resistance coming from the realm where he died. However, it is not specifically targeting me. Instead, I believe that it is targeting every top-tier expert who has reached the reincarnation stage. Liu Qing spoke with a faint smile. What do you mean? An elder asked in a stunned fashion. It seems like the Devouring Master does not wish for his inheritance to be obtained by someone who has stepped into the reincarnation stage. This is because those who had advanced into the reincarnation stage typically possess their own training methods, and it is nigh impossible for them to change. Henceforth, it would do more harm than good if they obtained his inheritance. Yuan Qian laughed and explained. Not everyone is suitable to obtain his inheritance. The Devouring Master most likely wants to leave his inheritance to the most suitable person. The elders nodded. With such a large commotion, what should our dragon tribe do? We must definitely get involved. However, the devil-suppressing prison is under our dragon tribe and I cannot leave. Therefore, let that fellow Liu Qing lead a group to investigate this matter. Coincidentally, he has just left his seclusion. Although he has yet to step into the reincarnation stage, he has vaguely touched reincarnation. Hence, if he manages to obtain the inheritance of the Devouring Master, it might be possible for him to make a breakthrough. Yuan Qian smiled and said, Liu Qing? That training maniac has actually came out of his seclusion. The elders were startled when they heard those words. To Yang Shan's group, he is an idol that is merely ranked beneath Qing Shi. Oh, that's right, I almost forgot. Our new punishment elder possessed the devouring ancestral symbol. It is likely that he will be the first to detect this incident. Given his character, he will definitely not miss out on this. Yuan Qian laughed. Elder Lin Donghe? Ha ha, this is going to be interesting. Liu Qing had also received some pointers from Lord Qing Shi back then. I wonder how lively it will be if those two fellows, who both practiced the green heaven materialized dragon skill, were to meet. The surrounding elders laughed immediately. It seems like they were very interested to witness such an encounter. Yuan Qian nodded. After which, he cast his attention towards the distant north. When he detected the chaotic ripples in the sky, he sighed softly. It seems like there was going to be quite a huge commotion this time around. One can only wonder who will be fortunate enough to successfully obtain the Devouring Master's inheritance. While Yuan Qian's group was chatting in the sky, a slim and graceful individual wearing black armor was seated on a black throne deep within the devil-suppressing prison under the dragon tribe. Suddenly, she opened her tightly shut eyes. She lifted her head. Her sight seemed to penetrate through the land as she stared at a certain empty spot in the sky. Meanwhile, there was a look of melancholy in her eyes. Clearly, she had also detected a familiar fluctuation. Your dreams, we will help you to finish what you started. This world will definitely not fall into the hands of the Yimo. Finally, she slowly shut her eyes. After which, a serene voice resounded across this quiet devil-suppressing prison. It was obvious that the dragon tribe was not the only faction that detected the ripples emitted from the northernmost part of the demon region. Soon after the dragon tribe detected those ripples, many top experts from the celestial demon Martin tribe, Nine Phoenix tribe and Kuanping tribe also detected them. Subsequently, those tribes erupted into an uproar. Since Yuan Qian was able to deduce the origin of the expert who died in that shattered space, there were naturally some experienced individuals in the other three overlord tribes who could do so. Hence, they quickly deduced that it was related to the Devouring Master. After they realized what was going on, commotion was undoubtedly stirred. Although there were top-tier experts in these three overlord tribes who have stepped into the reincarnation stage, a top-tier expert from the ancient times was clearly someone that an ordinary reincarnation stage expert could not match up to. Therefore, the items that he left behind would even entice a reincarnation stage expert. Hence, the three overlord tribes quickly made various preparations. Clearly, they did not want to miss out on such a huge opportunity. This shock also gradually spread. After the four overlord tribes, the 8 great king tribes also realized it as well. However, their foundations were indeed a little weaker than the 4 overlord tribes. Hence, they only managed to deduce that there was an ancient top-tier expert who died in that shattered space. However, they did not know his exact identity. Nonetheless, they were still compelled to act. After all, any items left behind by an ultimate reincarnation stage expert possessed a temptation that no one could resist. Hence, they naturally wanted to have a share of this scrumptious meal. Of course, the demon region was extremely vast and there were countless powerful individuals within. Other than the 4 overlord tribes and the 8 great king tribes, there were also many powerful factions, who were not as well known. Though these factions typically hid their hidden strength cannot be underestimated. Typically, it was difficult to find out about their exact strength. However, when a situation like this occurs, those factions, which typically hid their strength, would still make a move owing to the overwhelming temptation. In summary, the entire demon region was about to erupt into an uproar. While the entire demon region gradually erupted into an uproar over at a certain mountain range deep within the demon region. This mountain range was dark black in color. Meanwhile, the black clouds permeating above were filled with dark and sinister ripples. Deep within that mountain range, black fog suddenly gathered on a mountaintop, before a black shadow appeared in a strange fashion. He was completely covered by black fog. Meanwhile, his emotionless eyes were looking towards the north. Ha ha, is that where the devouring master died? That hateful fellow truly refuses to allow one to be at peace even after his death. The black figure looked towards the north, before his hoarse voice slowly sounded. Ghost Abyss King, it seems like various factions have dispatched many powerful individuals to the northernmost area. What should we do? Behind this black figure, the black fox squirmed before a human figure appeared and laughed in a strange fashion. There is no way that we will miss out on such a grand event. In the past, we were only able to kill the devouring master after much difficulties. If someone was allowed to receive his inheritance, there will be another devouring master in this world. That will be bad news for us. The figure in front of that black shadow said in an indifferent manner. Do you mean? Let's head to the northernmost area. Whoever obtains the devouring master's inheritance, his voice paused after he mentioned this point. Soon after, dark and sinister killing intent surged forth like floodwaters. We'll kill him immediately. In front of the mountain hall of 4 Titans Palace. Lin Dong stood on a tall platform and looked at the strong individuals gathered in front of him. A satisfied expression flashed over his face. Having undergone a growth phase for a period of time, the scale of 4 Titans Palace was clearly several times greater than before. Moreover, the peak experts within the current palace had stepped into the Samsara stage. If his initial symbol Grandmaster level was added in, there would be a total of 6 people with such strength. With such a lineup, let alone the Beast War region, there were very few factions even in the nearby regions that could match them. Although they were gradually growing stronger, 4 Titans Palace had simply continued to entrench themselves in the Beast War region, and did not recklessly try to conquer new territories around them. Though invasion could allow the reputation of 4 Titans Palace to spread rapidly, the price was to be secretly targeted by many factions due to them overly exposing their blade. Currently, all of Lin Dong's efforts had been placed on the devouring Divine Palace, and it was obviously impossible for them to split their attention on other issues. Brother Ghost Condor will continue to stand guard in 4 Titans Palace during our trip to the northern region. The rest of you will accompany me. Lin Dong turned his head to look at Little Flame, the Heaven Dragon Demon Commander, and the rest as he declared. Despite the importance of the devouring Divine Palace, Lin Dong was also a little worried about 4 Titans Palace. Strong individuals must remain behind to guard it. Otherwise, if the territory that they had painstakingly established was conquered, the effort and time they would need to spend when they return would increase. This was not something that Lin Dong wished to see. It was also necessary to consider who should be left behind to guard this place. Both the Jew brothers could be struck off. They had only recently joined 4 Titans Palace and little was known about them. Hence, it was best for them to remain beside Lin Dong, who could suppress them at such a time. If they were left behind in 4 Titans Palace, there was no guarantee that they would not do something inappropriate. The Heaven Dragon Demon Commander trio could be trusted. However, the usually cautious Ghost Condor Demon Commander was still the best choice when it came to guarding their home. Ha ha, Brother Lin Dong, you can be rest assured and leave 4 Titans Palace to me. The Ghost Condor Demon Commander nodded. Although he was unable to personally witness the source of the huge commotion in the entire demon region in the northern region, he did not have any objection to Lin Dong's orders. The remaining experts will all stay and guard 4 Titans Palace. Maintain the highest vigilance while we are away. Do not make any mistakes. Lin Dong was not planning on bringing along a large number of troops with him on this trip to the northern region. A fight of this level was no longer something that one could make up with numbers. Only those top experts with true ability would be able to deter others. Understood? The many strong individuals from 4 Titans' palace below cried out in unison. Lin Dong deeply inhaled a breath of air. He subsequently waved his hand and said in a deep voice, "Let's go." His body took the lead to turn into a flash of bright light that swept forth when his words sounded. Little Martin, Little Flame, the Heaven Dragon Demon Commander and the others closely followed behind. We pray for leader to return in triumph. All the members of 4 Titans' palace below cupped their hands together and cried out together. 7 rays of light shot across the sky as they cried out. Soon after, the lights disappeared into the northern sky. Many rays of light also rose from various parts of the demon region when Lin Dong's group left. Their destination was north of the demon region. Following the movements of these various factions, the entire demon region had completely fallen into a state of excitement. The demon region was extremely vast. Hence, even though Lin Dong's group relied on their powerful strength to travel day and night, it was 7 days later before they approached the extreme north of the demon region. During this journey, Lin Dong finally witnessed just how frightening a temptation the appearance of the devouring divine palace was this time around. Every day, he saw many large groups of people and most of them possessed rather substantial strength. He was still barely able to identify some of these groups, but most of them were unfamiliar to him. Despite this unfamiliarity, the strength of these groups still surprised Lin Dong. It seemed that there were many powerful hidden experts in this demon region. A majority of these people might be aware that there was a reincarnation stage top expert who had died within the shattered space, but they did not know that the identity of this person was one of the 8 ancient masters, the Devouring Master. Nevertheless, this did not dampen their desire. The inheritance of a mere reincarnation stage top expert was sufficient to make them go crazy. This discovery caused Lin Dong to smile bitterly. Fortunately, the news related to the Devouring Master had yet to spread. Otherwise, it was likely that some factions would even give up guarding their headquarters and lead all troops over. The situation had already become somewhat chaotic. Looks like the fight for the inheritance would have to be taken a step at a time. Lin Dong's group finally reached the extreme north on the 9th day. However, the scene in front of them caused the expressions of the 7 to be a little blank when they arrived. The extreme north of the demon region had originally been an extremely deserted place. Hardly anyone lived here due to the harsh environment. Normally, one would have difficulty finding half a shadow. Yet, Lin Dong's group stood atop a mountain. The area in front of them was a barren plains. However, the barren plains was filled with a churning black mass of people that endlessly stretched on. Rushing wind sound appeared in the sky from time to time as many travel-worn figures continuously hurried over. An earth-shaking hubbub gathered together, and even the cold wind that enveloped this area had been slightly scattered. A racket of such scale was a rare sight. This is a little too ridiculous, right? The Heaven Dragon Demon Commander parted his lips and involuntarily laughed bitterly. In what way was this place a deserted wilderness? At a glance, it was even more lively than a city. Moreover, with his eyesight, he could see that everyone who had come here possessed great strength. Any one of them would be able to obtain quite a good position within any faction. Yet, they were found in such great numbers here. Originally, things would not have been like this. However, everyone was too anxious and rushed over to this place with great haste. How can this not attract the curiosity of others? Lin Dong shook his head and said, "The wind in this extreme north region is extremely strong. This period of time is when it is at its strongest. An ordinary expert would not dare to randomly roam about." Little Martin looked towards the ends of the barren plains where a dark whitish color was revealed in the sky. The wind there was extremely sharp. If this wind was to form a storm, even a Samsara stage expert would become extremely miserable. The natural disaster of this dangerous place was extremely frightening. We will perhaps have to wait a little longer in this place. Lin Dong nodded. He had only just spoken when his expression altered as his eyes looked towards the southern sky, where a 9-colored light ray suddenly swept over the sky from the south. A 10,000 feet large giant 9-colored bird flapped its huge wings within the light as it tore apart space and arrived. Lin Dong could detect a relatively frightening aura from the back of the huge bird. "It's the 9 Phoenix tribe." Little Martin glanced at the giant 9-colored bird and said in a faint voice. Lin Dong's eyes narrowed upon hearing this. He did not have a good impression of the 9 Phoenix tribe due to Mang Mountain's attack on Four Titans Palace. By the side, the expressions of the Zhu brothers darkened as they frowned. The giant 9-colored bird quickly appeared above the barren plains. Finally, the 9-colored light faded in front of many respectful and fearful eyes. It eventually turned into 8 figures that stood in the air. Lin Dong was the first to look over when the 8 figures appeared. The leader of the 8 was a man in beautiful robes. The man appeared handsome and had fair skin, while his hair was completely white. However, from the frightening ripple that emanated from within his body, he was clearly an ancient monster who appeared young on the surface. So powerful. Lin Dong looked at the white-haired man as his eyes hardened. The ripples from the latter's body caused him to be a little fearful. It was likely not weaker than that of First Elder Zhu Li from the Celestial Demon Martin tribe. That is the First Elder of the 9 Phoenix tribe, Mu Di. By the side, Ji Yi suddenly said. However, his voice contained an intense hatred. Lin Dong glanced at the Zhu brothers and was struck with a sudden flash of understanding. It seemed that this was the person who had forced them out of the Western Sand region and made them flee like homeless strays. Lin Dong's eyes drifted over Mu Di before pausing. This was because he had seen a familiar face. It was mysterious King Luo Tong of Mang Mountain. He was also a member of the 9 Phoenix tribe, and it seemed that he had come along this time. It seems that enemies frequently cross paths. Lin Dong looked at Luo Tong and faintly smiled. While Lin Dong was staring at Luo Tong, the latter also appeared to have detected something. His gaze shifted and found Lin Dong. After which, Luo Tong's expression stiffened and a frosty look flashed across his face. Subsequently, he stepped forward and softly said something to First Elder Mu Di from the 9 Phoenix tribe. First Elder Mu Di from the 9 Phoenix tribe shifted his gaze while Luo Tong spoke. Finally, it stopped at the mountain where Lin Dong's group was located. "Ha ha, you are the new punishment elder of the dragon tribe." Mu Di's eyes were filled with ridicule as he stared at Lin Dong while his indifferent voice thundered across the sky, attracting the attention of countless experts. Lin Dong knew that he could not hide after seeing the situation. Hence, he smiled and replied, "I am indeed the one. Does First Elder Mu Di have any pointers for me? The dragon tribe has always done things according to the rules. However, to have handed over the position of punishment elder to a mere human, it seems that Yuan Qian has become rather muddle-headed this time around." "What a joke," Mu Di said in a faint voice. "Perhaps First Elder Mu Di does not have the right to comment on the matters of the dragon tribe, no?" Lin Dong grinned. However, his tone did not appear to cower because of the other party's strength. The originally noisy atmosphere froze slightly after these words sounded. Many strong individuals were stunned. After all, there were very few people who dared to be so arrogant after being aware of Mu Di's identity. Some of those who were aware of the conflict between Four Titans Palace and Mang Mountain secretly laughed. Behind Mang Mountain was the 9 Phoenix tribe. Clearly, this First Elder Mu Di was still brooding over the matter of Mang Mountain being forced back by Four Titans Palace. Now, he was planning to retaliate. The 9 Phoenix tribe might be strong, but the human leader of Four Titans Palace did not appear ordinary either. How presumptuous! Who do you think you are? How dare you speak to First Elder in such a manner? Luo Tong cried out in a stern and furious voice. The faces of the few people beside them also turned chilly as he cried out in anger as a monstrous ripple was emitted. All of them possessed the frightening strength of the Samsara stage. It seemed that the 9 Phoenix tribe had sent out a really strong force. A cold look flashed across Lin Dong's eyes. However, before he could speak, a loud laughter, which was accompanied by waves of dragon roars, echoed from far away. "Ha ha, is the punishment elder of my dragon tribe someone whom trash like Liu Qing can shout at? Do you really think that your 9 Phoenix tribe can step over the heads of my dragon tribe?" Countless eyes shifted as the dragon roar sounded. After which, they saw a light figure flashing in the distance. Soon after, a couple of figures appeared. The person leading them wore green clothes, and his wild aura permeated the sky. A dragon roar resounded across the sky. After which, while being stared at by countless onlookers, a light was glimmering in the distance before 8 figures appeared in the sky. Leading this group was a man dressed in green clothes. His looks were fairly ordinary, but the arrogance that covered his face left a deep impression on anyone who saw him. Currently, this green-clothed man's hands were crossed over his chest. He wore a look of contempt as he stared at the distant Liu Qing. His demeanor demonstrated that he hardly paid any respect to the 9 Phoenix tribe. Liu Qing? When Liu Qing saw that green-clothed man, his expression changed immediately. In fact, a tinge of fear actually flashed across his eyes. "They are from the dragon tribe." Lindong was startled as well. Following which, he saw a familiar figure behind that green-clothed man. It was actually Duan Dao. It seems like the dragon tribe did not wish to miss out on this grand event as well. "Who is this person? I have never seen him before." Lindong glanced at that haughty-looking green-clothed man before he softly asked. He did not see that person when he was at the dragon tribe. However, the aura radiating from the latter caused him to be stunned. In fact, he had already surpassed an ordinary samsara stage expert and vaguely touched reincarnation. Nonetheless, he was still a little lacking compared to First Elder Zhu Li from the Celestial Demon Martin tribe, and First Elder Mu Di from the 9 Phoenix tribe. After Lindong's mental energy cultivation advanced to the symbol Grandmaster level, he was officially considered as part of the global elite. However, those within the samsara stage were also ranked accordingly. Moreover, the ranking system was fairly unique and it was not determined by the strength of one's yuan power. Instead, it was determined by who had a deeper understanding of reincarnation. Once one was able to comprehend reincarnation, one would be considered as an expert who has touched reincarnation. Only after reaching this stage would one be qualified to attempt to break into that peak level, reincarnation stage. Those individuals like the Heaven Dragon Demon Commander Trio were mostly ordinary samsara stage practitioners. However, those individuals like First Elder Zhu Li and Mu Di had already touched reincarnation. Therefore, though these two groups were technically on the same cultivation level, there was a huge difference in their strength. Currently, that green-clothed man had clearly reached the stage whereby he had made contact with reincarnation. However, his understanding of reincarnation was a little weaker compared to old demons like Zhu Li and Mu Di. Nonetheless, an ordinary samsara stage expert was definitely no match for him. That is Liu Qing from the Dragon tribe. An extremely powerful person. It is rumored that he is crazy about training and he is also the youngest person in the Dragon tribe's Elders Council. Additionally, he personally received pointers from Qingxi before. Therefore, he also practices the Green Heaven Materialized Dragon skill. It seems like little Martin was quite familiar with that person as he replied Lindong. Oh. He has also learned the Green Heaven Materialized Dragon skill. Lindong was slightly startled. Promptly, his interest was piqued. Green Heaven Materialized Dragon skill was considered as a top-tier martial arts of the Dragon tribe. However, other than Qingxi, he had yet to meet anyone else who practiced it. Hey, regardless, Lindong is the punishment elder of our Dragon tribe. Are you trying to humiliate our Dragon tribe by speaking of him in this manner? Liu Qing was hovering in the sky with his hands crossed over his chest, before he chuckled. Liu Qing had a somewhat ugly expression. However, he did not dare to retort owing to Liu Qing's fearsome reputation. Oh. It is actually that little brat Liu Qing from the Dragon tribe. This old man has always been a straight shooter. In fact, even if your tribe leader is here, I will still say what I want to. Mu Di frowned and said after he saw Liu Qing butting in. Blah, old fellow, you should stop trying to use your age to put me down. I would very much prefer to talk directly using our fists rather than seniority. The corner of Liu Qing's mouth was curled and his tone was extremely impolite. Although he was indeed ranked a little lower than Mu Di in terms of seniority, he was extremely powerful. If they were to exchange blows, it was likely that he had no need to fear this first elder of the Nine Phoenix tribe. Humph, ignorant and arrogant fool. Mu Di's expression darkened before the space around him gradually became contorted. After which, a faint and mysterious ripple spread. That ripple might be extremely faint, but countless individuals felt an extremely powerful pressure radiating from it. That pressure had the taste of reincarnation. Little fellow, though you touched reincarnation within merely 100 years, I'm afraid it's still too early for you to act arrogantly in front of me. Ha ha, old fellow, if you feel upset, you can take a swing at me with your fists. Then, you'll find out if I am qualified to act this haughtily. Liu Qing was not the least bit fearful when he saw an enraged Mu Di. Instead, it seems like he was eager to fight as his laughter resounded across the place. Standing on a mountaintop, Lin Dong chuckled when he heard this. Liu Qing might be an extremely arrogant person, but Lin Dong had a favorable impression of him. Mu Di's expression also gradually became gloomy. Just as he was about to lose control and attack Liu Qing to teach him a lesson, an elderly laughter suddenly resounded across the sky. Ha ha, it seems like this place is really lively. The space became distorted when the laughter sounded. Soon after, purple-black light flashed before a couple of figures appeared. Vast and mighty ripples spread when they did so, causing many to throw their stunned gazes over. My guys are finally here. Little Martin looked at the sky and said lazily. Upon hearing this, Lin Dong smiled before he turned to look. At that spot, he saw a group with terrifying auras suddenly appearing in the sky. They were being led by First Elder Zhu Li from the Celestial Demon Martin tribe. So it's First Elder Zhu Li. Mu Di frowned slightly when he saw the leader of the group, First Elder Zhu Li. After which, he frowned before he spoke with a faint smile. He was not as rude to Zhu Li as he was to Liu Qing. After all, the status and strength of the former were on the same level as him. So it's First Elder Mu Di. It has been many years since we last met. First Elder Zhu Li laughed. Everyone is here because of the shattered space. What is the point of fighting now? It's not that this old man wants to fight with Liu Qing. However, the Four Titans Palace has offended my Nine Phoenix tribe and I am merely trying to win some respect back. Otherwise, others might look down on my Nine Phoenix tribe. Mu Di said. Oh. First Elder Zhu Li smilingly looked towards Lin Dong's group, who were located on the mountaintop. He subsequently shook his head and said, First Elder Mu Di, young brother Lin Dong is a benefactor of our Celestial Demon Martin tribe. Therefore, even if the Dragon tribe doesn't speak up, my Celestial Demon Martin tribe will definitely not stand by idly. Whoa! An uproar erupted when he uttered those words. Many powerful individuals were stunned as they stared at Lin Dong's group. After all, they did not expect that the latter actually had such powerful backers. Not only was Lin Dong the Dragon tribe's punishment elder, but he even had such a close relationship with the Celestial Demon Martin tribe. It's no wonder he was not afraid of offending the Nine Phoenix tribe. His background was truly startling. You? Mu Di was also taken back by Zhu Li's words. After which, his originally gloomy face darkened further, while an additional tinge of surprise was present in his eyes. After all, he never expected that both the Dragon tribe and the Celestial Demon Martin tribe would choose to offend the Nine Phoenix tribe over a human lad. Mu Di's eyes were gloomy. After which, he turned his head before he stealthily looked at an inconspicuous figure standing behind him. This figure was small in size and his body was wrapped by loose robes. He acted as though he did not see Mu Di's eyes as he shook his head in an unnoticeable manner. Mu Di withdrew his eyes. He waved his sleeves and snorted coldly, on account of the Dragon tribe and the Celestial Demon Martin tribe, I will let you off today. However, if you offend my Nine Phoenix tribe again, it is likely that the matter would not be resolved so easily. Lin Dong smiled and said, What is First Elder Mu Di saying? I am someone who does not offend anyone who does not offend me. As long as the 9 Phoenix tribe does not come and mess with me, I will not bother you guys. Of course, if anyone dares to mess with me, they shall also learn that I, Lin Dong, am not someone you want to mess with. Lin Dong's tone had an additional trace of ferocity when he spoke. The 9 Phoenix tribe was indeed powerful, but they would be mistaken if they thought that he was a pushover. Humph, someone who does not know how to appreciate kindness. Mu Di snorted coldly, while his eyes were filled with anger. However, he could not unleash his fury at this moment. All he could do was to ruthlessly glare at Lin Dong before completely ignoring him. Standing in the sky, First Elder Zhu Li grinned when he saw this scene. After which, he landed on the ground together with a couple of elders from the Celestial Demon Martin tribe. Then, he smiled as he looked at Lin Dong and said, "Little fellow, you truly cause problems everywhere you go." First Elder, this has nothing to do with me. I didn't even utter a single word before the other party came knocking on my door. Lin Dong spread his hands in an innocent manner. The 9 Phoenix tribe was the party who came looking for trouble today. Moreover, First Elder, the reason why all of you hurried over. Is it because you guys are interested in the devouring divine palace? Lin Dong glanced at First Elder Zhu Li and asked. However, he intentionally said the second sentence with a softer voice. I am aware that you own the devouring ancestral symbol. First Elder Zhu Li looked at Lin Dong with a deeper meaning in his eyes, before he said, You are the one with the highest potential to obtain the inheritance of the devouring master. The main reason why tribe leader sent me here is to assist you. Although you have advanced to the initial symbol Grandmaster level, there are many powerful hidden individuals in the demon region. Hence, it'll likely be no easy task for you to obtain the inheritance with your current strength. In that case, please help me to convey my thanks to the tribe leader. Lin Dong laughed and he felt some gratitude in his heart. The devouring master's inheritance was extremely tempting. Yet, the celestial demon Martin tribe actually chose to assist him. This was indeed a huge favor. Ha ha, brother Lin Dong, how have you been? Another familiar laughter was transmitted over while Lin Dong was chatting with First Elder Zhu Li. Lin Dong turned his head before he saw the group of Dragon Tribe experts walking towards him. The person laughing heartily was Duan Dao. Lin Dong cupped his hands towards Duan Dao and smiled. Then, he rotated his eyes and paused on Liu Qing, who was currently staring at him. Heh, you that Lin Dong who caught the eye of Lord Qingji? The pride on Liu Qing's face did not diminish as he smilingly looked at Lin Dong. Instead, his eyes were filled with some heat. Yes, I am. Although Liu Qing's face was plastered with arrogance, he did not hold any ill intent towards Lin Dong. Hence, Lin Dong smiled and replied. Liu Qing laughed out loud. A moment later, he took a step forward. Immediately, green light surged around him before an earth-shaking dragon roar sounded. After which, thousands of green dragon light tattoos rose. The aura caused many huge cracks to appear on the mountain. The Heaven Dragon Demon Commander, Little Flame and the rest were all startled upon seeing this. They were just about to stand in front of Lin Dong when the latter waved his hand to stop them. Since Big Brother Liu Qing wants to test my Green Heaven materialized dragon skill, I will likely cause Senior Qingji to throw his face if I refuse. Alright, today, I shall be seeking pointers from Big Brother Liu Qing. Lin Dong smiled. Promptly, he clenched both his hands before purple gold dragon light tattoos surged out from within his body. An ancient and pure dragon pressure which resembled that of a huge dragon, slowly awakened. This episode ends here.